Hi there, let us continue with paper 1, part 3. So in part 3, it is an extended text reading comprehension, which is awarding 8 marks, and it is also consisted of 8 questions, 4 option multiple choices, 1 extended text, which is consisted of 650 words to 750 words. And sources can be from the novels or magazines. So there are a few things you have to bear in your mind when you do part 3. Right? There are a few strategies you can do. First, read twice the passage to get general idea of the text. Underline the main idea of each paragraph. Read the question carefully. Highlight the keywords. Read the options carefully before you choose the answer. Locate the answer in the text. Then reread the text to check the options that you have chosen. So as for today, I'm going to use the sample from Lembaga Peperiksaan Buku Format Pentaksiran Bahasa Inggeris yang dijajakan kepada CEFR 1119. Okay, so here is the sample. Right, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to read through the passage and also the question. You may start now. Okay, so what you can tell me about this passage all about? I know that some of you are already familiar with this passage, right? So just want to give sample or example for those who haven't seen the actual format. So this is the layout. So these are the questions can be asked, right? So what is this passage all about? As you can read from the passage, this is a story of a writer about her memories with her mother from where they live from a wooden house, right? Maybe in a village, right? Until they moved to Singapore. Okay, so at first the mother prepared food by using wood, okay, and after that coal, and towards the end they used the gas stove to prepare the food. So this is a life story of a person being with the parents, okay, from they were poor until they not considered rich, but they feel happy with what they have. Okay, so look at the first question. In paragraph 2, why does the writer use the phrase happily watching her in action? So in the paragraph 2, as you can see here, let's make a right. Mother will start her busy daily routine in the kitchen while I will be sitting happily watching her in action. So she would sit on low stool, alright, and then her mother chopped the wood with clumsy axe. So here you can see the writer is what we call enjoying the precious time with her mother. Okay, so when you look at the answers given here, she enjoyed being of help to her mother. We can see here in this paragraph too, she didn't help the mother, just watching. Okay, of course, A is not the correct answer. Okay, she felt contented to be with her mother. So contented here means that she feel happy, right? Enjoying it, right? And then C, she admire her mother's cooking skill. In this process, we don't really see that she's cooking, right? So just preparing the food, okay, by using wood, right? Then she found her mother's routine amazing. Right? It doesn't really mention here amazing, right? So of course, what do you think is the answer for number 19? Okay, yes, she felt contented to be with her mother. Okay, right, now question 20. Okay, in paragraph 3, what does the writer say about her mother's character? Okay, she was discouraged by economic hardship faced by the family. Right? Okay, can you see here in paragraph 3? Right? Okay, times were hard, so my mother could only afford to make us ordinary dishes such as vegetable with dried shrimp and fried eggs. But for me, sitting at the old wooden table with whole family grubbing up steamy rice and simple food was very much satisfying. So what do you think? Did she feel discouraged? Of course not, yeah. So next one, she was conscious of the way she looked when she was cooking. Right? Did she really worry about how she be? Right? Okay, so sitting there, right, with her hair would maybe messy, right, forehead beaded with sweat, her cheek covered in gray ash. Of course, she didn't worry about that. Okay, she was concerned about what the future holds for the children. Right, she's not that really, although that she's worried, but she didn't really show it, right, to the children. And she was determined to put food on the table for everyone. It can be seen from here. Okay, these wonderful meals, my mother or my mom, the mom labor so hard to prepare, help brighten our lives even as poverty and hard times weigh us down. All right, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, right. So of course, right, the answer is okay, right, D. She was determined to put food on the table for everyone. So next one, paragraph 4. How did the writer describe their life in Singapore? Right, so you can see here in paragraph 4, right, When I was 8, whole family moved to south of Singapore. Life did not improve much as all of us were forced to huddle in rented room. So what you can tell me about huddle? Alright, huddle in a rented room. Okay, so is it we could not go we could not go out much? The mother started a business? I don't think so. The family had to depend on others. It doesn't mention also. So they had to live in a cramped place. So in other words, the answer is quite straightforward. All right. So they had to live in a cramped place. So that's the life they have in Singapore. All right, next question. In paragraph 5, what was the proof that their lives changed for the better? Okay. Look at paragraph 5. All right. So when I was 10, when I was 10 years old, we finally moved into new apartment. So what does this indicate? So it shows that, right? It shows that they could afford to get a new place of their own. So they moved to a new apartment. Okay. Right, next one. What effect did the moving to the new apartment have? So once they move, what do they get? Alright, so they now had a large kitchen and most importantly, a gas stove. Right, so in other words, it meant that providing food was no longer problematic. So you still remember at the beginning of the story, they use wood and then coal. Now they use what we call the gas stove. Right. So next question: why had preparing meals becoming more pleasurable for mom? Okay, so why is it enjoyable for her? Right. You can see from paragraph 5. Okay. Cooking, right? Cooking is so much more enjoyable, and she bought new recipe books and tried them out. So in other words, that what you can tell me about is becoming pleasurable for her mom. Okay, using gas stove made cooking simpler. Alright, next. How does the writer feel about her parents in the last paragraph? So you look at the last paragraph. In the last year followed, grey hair had slowly appeared on my parents' heads and so had a sense of contentment with their lives. They now live in a good-sized apartment and the kitchen is equipped with a gas stove, an oven and a microwave, all conveniences that once seemed so impossible. So sitting on the balcony amidst the gorgeous flowers, they enjoy peace after those difficult years. So what can you say about that? All right. Okay. Grateful. Alright, relief that their life has become easier with all the equipment, alright, prepared for them. Alright, they're just enjoying their life. Okay, last question. What is the purpose of the writer writing this article? So you have to see as overall, okay, this passage all about. Okay, so you can go one by one, all the answers. To share precious memories of her mother, to recall how she faced difficulties in her life, to look back at how her dad worked hard for the family to show beautiful relationship between her and her parents. Okay, you have to see as a summary of this passage. So, what do you think is the best answer for this? Of course, to share precious memory of her mother. Right. So, things to bear in your mind. Look at the question. Okay. Question 19. Why? Okay. And then 20. What? 21. How? 22. What? And then 23. What? 24. Why? 25. How? 26. What? So this is considered as WH question. So you have to infer and refer, skim and scan for the answers. Okay, so these questions really guide you actually. All right, when you look at 19 until 22, you are given paragraph, which paragraph to find the answer. So it's not that difficult to look for the answer, right? And whereas 23 until 26 is more towards to summarize, to infer, all right, to look into it, all right, and try to look for answers that are really close to it. Okay, so these are the things that you have to bear in your mind. Okay, and read through once again, double check all your answers. Okay, so that's the part 3. Okay, now we are going to look at part 4. So what is in part 4? Part 4 is a gap text, which is awarding 6 marks. A text with 350 to 450 words with sentences removed. And you are given 8 sentences to choose from. So this part 4 almost similar with PT3. We had this kind of question. So I think that's not going to be a problem for you. But the problem here is how to choose the correct sentence, all right, for each of the gaps. All right. So here, read through the gap text quickly to get general idea. Okay. Then read the 8 option answers given. Read the sentence before and after each gap when selecting an answer option. Fill the easier ones and then try to do elimination process. Read the passage again with the fill-in gaps to see if it makes sense. Okay, so once again, I'm going to use the same sample from the format pentaksiran bahasa Inggeris. Yeah. Okay, so let us go through the passage all about. What is the passage all about? Okay, so it's a camp for future leaders. So there is a title. So you can see as overall it is a story or an experience of a girl or a boy who involved in a camp for future leaders. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to read through. we're going to go through the passage together. So being a school prefect, I often have to help other students to provide them with an example to follow. So I have to be their role model. Last month, for the first time, my school selected me to attend a leadership camp. Unsure of what to expect initially, I left with a real feeling of achievement at the end of the camp. I now know what it takes to be a good leader. Okay. The camp activities was creatively designed to motivate and boost our confidence. For example, during the Speak Easy activity, we were encouraged to reveal our secrets and innermost feelings. To our horror, the facilitators made it compulsory for everyone to participate. Okay, so there is a gap, number 27. Okay, we had no choice but to build up our courage and speak up. This set the tone for future activities. Right, third paragraph. The next activity was something I had been looking forward to. It was a workshop on how to deal with disciplinary cases in the safest way possible. The hands-on activity taught me how to deal with these sorts of difficult situations. Right, gap 28. This knowledge is something to be shared with new prefects in my school. The activity that had the most impact on me dealt with learning not to judge others based on looks or position. Right, gap 29. This approach is not only useful for me as a prefect, but also in everyday life. Next paragraph. There were also other enjoyable experiences during my short stint at the camp. Okay, number 30. But the truth was, I occasionally got homesick. Fortunately, the warm and friendly attitudes of the staff put me at ease. I learned how to cope at a camp that felt like home away from home. I was especially impressed with the camp facilitators who led the sessions. They were always approachable, helpful in ensuring that all the activities were fun. Apart from giving us practical tips that would be useful in in many aspects. Right? Gap number 31. This would be an advantage to us not only now but when we step into working world. The leadership camp is a great way to gain skills necessary for dealing with real life situation. Right? 32. Credit must be given to great way the leadership camp was organized. It should be recommended to anyone else who aspires to be leader. So after you read through, okay, you might have difficulty to look which one would be the answer. It's quite confusing, right? Maybe this A can be the answer for 27, all right, B. So it's almost what we call make us think so many times whether this is correct or not. Now we go through the 8 sentences first, okay? We should listen to the views and ideas of all people. Now I am more confident about addressing problem of behavior with the junior students. Everyone who attended noticed a huge change in how they behave and treat people. I was pushed out of my comfort zone. We learned about time management and how to handle stress effectively. I really tried to focus on all positives. I also shared my experience with other leaders. Surprisingly, everyone volunteered to go first. Okay, so the answer is almost the same. Alright, almost. What I mean it's not the same. What I mean can be anyway. Alright, can be used in all the gaps. Alright, so let us try number 27. What do you think is the answer? Right? So look at the sentence before that. To our horror, the facilitators made it compulsory for everyone to participate. Next, we had no choice but to build up our courage and speak up. Now you look at these sentences. Which one shows that they have to show their confidence to speak up? Is it something to do with listening? All right. This one, B, is more towards addressing problem. Okay, this attended notice, everyone who attended noticed a huge change. This is probably can be used towards the end of the paragraph or towards the end of the passage. And then this one, this sentence, sorry, it was pushed out. I was pushed out of my comfort zone. Probably we learn about time management. Does it relate that with time management? All right, try to focus on all the positives. Almost there, almost the same, right? It can be used. And I also share my experience. Does it related to this? Not much, yeah. And then surprisingly, everyone volunteered to go first. This one, H and D. All right, probably suitable answer to be used. Okay, let us check the answer. Yes, the answer is D. I was pushed out of my comfort zone. All right, so you read in between. Does it sound correct? Does it sound suitable with this sentence in between? Okay, right, next one, 28. The hands-on activity taught me how to deal with these sorts of difficult situations. So this knowledge is something to be shared with new prefects in my school. So what kind of knowledge is it that she or he learned? All right. So here he said about share with my new prefects in my school. So you look at here. What do you think? Yes, the answer is B. Now I am more confident about addressing problems of behavior with junior students. Okay, because it's related to share with new prefects in my school. Okay, next one, 29. The activity that had the most impact on me dealt with learning not to judge others based on looks or position. So this approach is not only useful for me as prefect, but also in everyday life. Right? What do you think? Answer, probably share my experience. No. Everyone attended. No. Try to focus. Of course not. Here, A. We would listen to the views, ideas of all people, regardless the looks or position. So it really answered this part. Okay. Next, there were also other enjoyable experiences during my short stint at the camp. But the truth was, I actually got homesick. All right. So what do you think is the suitable answer, correct answer? Of course, the answer is F. I really tried to focus on all the positives. All right. Next one, 31. They were always approachable and helpful in ensuring that all activities were fun, apart from giving us practical tips that would be useful in many aspects. So this would be an advantage to us not only now, but when we step into working world. So in other words, that with all this experience, you can really face the world. All right. So in other words, that we learn about time management and how to handle stress effectively. Okay. Lastly, the leadership camp is a great way to gain skills necessary for dealing with real life situation. Right? Credit must be given to the great way the leadership camp was organized. So, what you can tell me is, everyone who attended noticed a huge change in how they behave and treat people. Okay. Alright. There's no other way you can do this part 4, which is you have to do lots of practice. Alright. So that's the end of part 4. Okay. Next, what is in part 5? Part 5 is matching and information transfer, all right, which awarding 8 marks with 8 questions, various input types, completion of notes or diagrams, and then matching task. Okay, right. There are a few strategies you can look into when you answer part 5. Read all the text and information provided. Read the rubrics and questions. Look for the clues or cues of extra information provided. Write your answers as instructed in the rubrics. Okay, so we are going to use the sample, right, from the pentaksiran. Okay, I give you 1 minute to read through. Okay, what is in part 5, right? We interviewed 6 teenagers about the community service means to them. Read the text below and then answer the questions that follow. Now, let us go through the interview. Yeah, Shah, 16 years old. Opportunities to volunteer are everywhere, even right in our own backyard. I started with something that I really believe and have an interest in. Joining a project that gives free tuition to little kids from a few poor families in my neighborhood. That experience taught me to be more compassionate. Okay. B. Julie, 14 years old. When I was younger, I helped out at nearby animal shelter. I first didn't know many people there, wasn't very enthusiastic. Later, I got to know the animals and staff members. I learned how to enjoy my time there. Every now and then, I go over to feed the animals and play with them. It's very beneficial. I get new experiences doing things that I had never done before. C. Hock Lim, 17 years old. I go to an old folks' home as a volunteer, spend time with the residents there. Sometimes my friends and I go there after school. Listening to the stories about their past experiences had taught us some useful life lessons. Once in a while, we bring along a guitar to entertain them. Okay. Last year we had a class. Okay, this is Emilia class. A project where we had to complete 10 hours of community service. So my class decided to help clean up the zoo compound. Although very tiring, I felt doing this type of community service is rewarding. Jeremy. For as long as I remember, I have always been involved in community service, going to children's homes with my parents or to organize parties, especially on special occasions. The joy on the children's face never ceases to warm our hearts, and that's what keeps us going back. Ida, I wanted to support my local library, so I set up a story corner and read to children on Saturdays. Setting up community projects is very meaningful, no matter how small it may be. A very little step counts. I hope that one day my classmate will join me. Sorry. So as you can read through, right, there are 6 interesting and very helpful teenagers, all right, joining the community service, right? So now let us go through the rubrics together. Yeah. Which paragraph, A until F, describe the following experiences of community service? So there are 4, all right, 4 statements. So you have to indicate which paragraph. Okay, you don't have to write the name, just indicate the alphabet. Okay, right. So I did not enjoy working initially. What do you think? Right? What you can tell me about this person? Okay, so you can see this person. Okay, right. At first I didn't know many people. Then there wasn't very enthusiastic. Okay, she didn't like it at first, but towards the end, it was very beneficial. I get new experience doing things that I've never done before. Right. Okay, so this person, okay, showing that last time she didn't like it, but now she enjoy it. So what you can tell me? The answer is, of course, B. Okay, next, I organize my work by myself. So you look at these person, okay, these teenagers who work alone. Okay, now Shah, all right, Shah helping the kids, okay, by giving them tuition. Julie, right, she worked with the staff, all right, at the animal shelter. Hocklim, okay, he went with his friend to the old folks. Amelia, okay, asked the classmate or the class, right, to join her to clean up the zoo compound. Whereas Jeremy, okay, and his parents, right, they went to the children's home, right, to celebrate birthday, for example. And you can see here, Ida, she's actually working alone. Okay, why? Because I hope that one day my classmate will join me. And so in other words, that she's working alone, all right, or organize her work by herself. Okay, so of course the answer is F. Okay, I sympathize with unfortunate in my area. Okay, I think it's very straightforward, right? Joining a project that gives free tuition to the little kid from few poor family in my neighborhood. So of course it is Shah. I get input to have a better understanding of the world. Who get more experience among these teenagers? Of course, it is Hocklim. Oh, C. Okay. Next, question 37 to 40. So read the rubrics. Complete the notes below using information from the text. Choose no more than one word. So answer shouldn't be more than one word. Okay, from the passage for each answer. Okay, mark your answer on the separate answer sheet. Excuse me. So what we know about community service? Those who are interested in working with animals could help out at a blank or zoo. So look among these among these 6 teenagers who work in the zoo, all right, or who work with animals, right? You can see here Julie and Amelia. Okay, Amelia helping cleaning up zoo compound, whereas Julie, all right, help at a nearby animal shelter. So the answer is shelter for number 37. Next, for senior citizen, it is useful to think of ways to what normally old folk lack of actually. They need companion, right? So they're a bit lonely. So what do they need from the youngsters? In you can see here in Hock Lim, what we call statement. Okay, what did they do? They entertain the old folks, right? Old folks, they really need someone to talk to, all right, because they are quite lonely, right? So helping children is also making them happy. Celebrating birthdays by having what is one way to do this. So you can, when you read the statement, you can see who's doing it. Okay, of course it is Jeremy and his parents. All right. So what do? All right, they give parties. All right. And lastly, try not to think too big. Do something that will make the lives of needy more and happy. Okay, so this question is a bit tricky because you have to glance through, all right, what would be the correct answer. Okay, so what do you think? All right, so you don't have to spend a lot of money to do this, yeah, or think very big, all right, because which one is more important? Make sure the project is very meaningful. Okay, that's the important thing, all right, when you do the project, all right, especially those who really need it. Okay, so that's the end of our part 5. So practice. Okay, so I'm going to give you time, all right, to do practice on part 3. So I give you 2 minutes to read through. Okay, time's up. So what is this passage all about? Yes. So you can see the first paragraph. Okay, we go through the passage together. Of all the textiles associated with Malaysia, batik may be the most renowned due to its universal appeal and affordable, but it is the songket cloth that commands the most respect and value. The reasons are obvious, as is in any community where demand tends to exceed supply. Songket is costly to make as it involves long, often tedious hours that stretch into days and weeks, requires pricey materials, and is suffering from a diminishing pool of talented weavers and designers. Young ladies are mostly indifferent to songket weaving. The damsels may appreciate songket purposes, but will hardly strive to learn the art songket weaving, let alone making a full-time career. Many prefer in a modern factory or business company for higher monetary rewards. So you can see it here in this first paragraph, talking about straightforward, about the songket, right? The demands that needed to do the songket or to weave the songket, and the future ahead, because nowadays the ladies, right, they prefer working in a modern factory or opening up their own business. So that's the things, the downturn of happening in songket industry. Okay, so next one. Today the center of songket is confined to East Coast states of Kelantan and Terengganu. As expected, it is strictly a family affair handed down from generations earlier, propagated by members of the immediate family who hires outside help for the weaving. It is quite unknown to start songket business from scratch, as reputation and ancestral name are vital ingredients here. So in other words, that mostly songket business is done by family members. Okay, but it's quite difficult nowadays to ensure that the business continue among the family members. So they need to hire people to help them to continue with this reputation, continue with this business. Okay, so songket cloth can be used for almost any sartorial purpose, from jackets to miniskirts, but in most common usage are for sampin for men and sarong for ladies. The sampin is Malay form of cummerbund which is wrapped around waist and hover above the knee. So it is part of traditional baju Melayu worn with shirt and trousers, ideally of songket. True, other materials are used, replets with headgear cotton collar and a crease tucked neatly into the said sampin. Only for weddings and other important occasions is the entire assembled mat of songket, since a set of can cost ringgit Malaysia 350 to RM 4,000. The lady used songket for the sarong, a wrap-around ankle-length skirt. A typical songket cloth is about 1.8 meters by 0.5 meters. So another dimension will have to be ordered, since this relatively thick and heavy material does not lend itself for office or casual wear due to outstanding nature. So it was originally meant for court wear by the ruler and the nobility, with a renewed retinue of servants to fan them. So you can see here in this paragraph 3, this paragraph telling us how do people wear songket, especially for the men or for the ladies, and when do they normally use songket. You can see it. You can see songket widely used during wedding or during the during the occasion by the nobility, all right, by noble people. Okay, so next one. The top-notch piece of songket is elaborately detailed with up to 20 motifs, and weave itself is much closer together, tighter, with the threads strung closely, just as the finest carpets will have the biggest number of knots per square centimeter. The best use is expensive silk, not cotton. The very best gold thread is utilized together with other types which did not snap or fade easily. Lastly, only veteran weavers who are almost always elderly ladies will be employed to undertake such tasks, certainly not novices. Okay, so checks are made at intervals to spot faults. Careless weavers will have to backtrack to remedy such imperfections. So the layman in all likelihood will not be able to discern any minor mistake, but producer reputation and honor also hang in the balance. Only technically perfect songket will be offered in the upper brackets. So ordinary gold threads is imported from India and Japan, while highest quality comes from France. This ensures the famous immutable sheen that will stand the test of time. Surprisingly, truly, old songket does not have any gold thread, as it was introduced only in the last 90 years ago. So in paragraph 4, it is a process of weaving. Okay, the process of doing or starting the process of making songket. All right. So the material being used quite expensive, right? And who is responsible to check the quality of the songket is important too. Okay, and the last paragraph. There are no copyrights on the design. So there are some patterns associated with certain families, but any weaver can look at a songket of another and decide to do one like that. So all she has to do is the set of bunga or design into the karat of her loom from memory, and practically the same thing will come out, like in computer where you have real or imitation software. Another outstanding feature that is, although songket is 4,500 years old, its design actually resembles the up-to-date minute computer printout. Due to nature of weave, there are no round corner or smooth, free-flowing inlines. Instead, a closer examination reveals sharp, well-defined angular shapes set geometrical, just like the digital number of quartz watch of how a computer portrait appears like a painting viewed from a little distance away. So you can see that this last paragraph talking about the design of songket, all right, can be used by anyone, and at the same time it's almost the same as the one printed out through computers. Okay. Now we look at the question. All right. From paragraph 1, batik is popular in Malaysia because of its. Now look at here. Alright, so very straightforward. Okay, so batik may be the most renowned due to its universal appeal and affordability. So here there are two things here: appeal and affordability. So you can see at the answers given here, respectively, of course not. Value, of course not. This is not for batik. All right, and then demand, nope. And cheapness, same meaning as affordability. That means people can buy. All right. And as for these three answers are mainly for songket. Okay. Next question. From paragraph 1, okay, look at paragraph 1. Songket is costly because of the following reasons. Except, now you look at the reason. The reasons are obvious. Okay, so in a word, as in any community where demand tends to exceed supply. So songket is costly is because it is long. Right, because it's involved long, tedious hours, right, stretched into days and weeks, require pricey materials, and also is suffering from diminishing pool of talented weaver and designer. Okay, so you can see here expensive materials, high demand, long hours production, and do you think this is the correct answer? Used during important functions. Does it mention over here? Of course not. Okay. So the answer is used during important functions. Right, next question. Still in paragraph 1. Young girls today are not interested in weaving songket because, now look at the options given here. It is no longer popular. Okay, it is incorrect. It's popular. It is not rewarding enough. Alright, think about it for a while. Alright, KIV. They do not like songket themselves. It doesn't mention here. They don't like. They like it actually. They are not talented anymore. Alright. So here the answer might be probably B or D. Okay, what do you think? Okay, so the main reason here is many prefer working in a modern factory or business company for higher monetary rewards. Alright, in other words, that it is not rewarding enough because all the tedious job, the long hours, everything, it should be cost more than they're supposed to get. So that's why the ladies, or the young ladies or young girls, they prefer to work in a factory or opening up their own business. Okay, right, next. Paragraph 3, sampin refers to, alright, this is considered very direct question, alright, so is it a special headgear? Alright, this is more towards using your general knowledge, right? Okay, of course not. A piece of traditional sarong? No. The sarong is normally used by the ladies. Okay, and then assemble for wedding. Right. It's not that suitable, right? Answer. And of course, it is worn around the waist. It's mentioned here already. All right, very direct. So for cummerbund, which is wrapped around the waist and hovers above the knee. Okay. Next. Question 23. The word novices, paragraph 4 means. Okay. Now look at paragraph 4. Okay. I think you can find the answer directly here. All right. So here, lastly, only veteran weavers who are almost always elderly ladies will be employed to undertake such tasks. Certainly not novices. You can see the elderly means the one who is experienced. All right, not the novices. In other words, that is the antonym. All right, for those who are inexperienced. All right, for the inexperienced worker. Right, I think you can see the answers already. Right, so Of course, it's not lazy workers, careless workers, okay, young girls. It should be the inexperienced workers, right? Next. In paragraph 4, when imperfections occur, right, who have to do it actually? Okay, so it can be checks are made at interval to spot fault, carelessness. Weaver will have to backtrack to remedy such imperfections. So in other words, is it the weavers have to track back to the source for repair work? All right. Is it weavers will be expelled straight away? It's so mean, right? The careless worker will have to spot the fault. The whole piece of material will have to be replaced. So among all these answers, I think you can see it's a very straightforward answer, right? So they have to trace back to the source for repair. Okay? So that's the important thing. You have to trace back the source, where is it started from, and then the person who is very experienced will look for it and try to amend it. Okay, next. In the last paragraph, we are told that weaving, songket, and computers have one thing in common. What is the similarity? Okay, as we read through just now, there is a similarity between both of the what we call the songket and the computer. All right, weaving, songket, and computers. All right, is it a real imitation software? Is it designs, smooth, free flowing lines, or modern paintings? So among all these 4 answers, as you can see, is very straightforward. So it is designs. Okay, last question. Which of the following would be the best title for the passage? Yeah? The mystery of songket? Of course not. The songket industry? Alright, it's almost can be accepted. And then magic of songket? Of course not, right? And that's not the answer. The production of songket. So you can see it's either B or D, right? What do you think is the answer? So in this paragraph, in this question, you have to see as overall. Okay, from the beginning of the paragraph, the first paragraph, until the end of the paragraph. So what is it all about? Okay, so the answer is the production of songket. Okay, so that's the end of our part 3. Okay, so before we go to the next practice, right, I just want to what we call recap what is in part 3, right, the strategies. Okay, make sure you read twice the passage to get general idea of the text, right? Underline the main idea of each paragraph. Read the questions carefully, highlight the keywords, read the option carefully before you choose the answer, locate the answers in the text, then reread the text to check the options that you have chosen. So try to use this method, try to use these strategies when you do part 3. Okay, so we're going to do part 4. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes to read through. Okay. All right, let us go through the passage together. So you can see the title is My Graduation Day. Right? So I can never forget the day I graduated from university. This was the day my family and I waited for. And it took me 3 years to achieve it. It was the day I could formally and officially be called an accountant. Okay. So weeks before graduation day, my friends and I were busy shopping for clothes, shoes, and accessories for the big day. So the big event, together with my family, planned a quiet celebration lunch after the morning ceremony. Meanwhile, congratulatory cards and messages came pouring in. Even today, I often flip through the pages. Finally, the day arrived. It was 24th June 2020, and my parents, friends, and I were dressed to kill. I felt extra special in my gown and motorboard because of all the attention I was getting. Cameras clicked away. Soon, it was time for us to take our seats in the great hall. I still remember looking out to see if I could spot my parents in the vast sea of faces in the hall. This, of course, was impossible. I walked up to the stage in a daze to receive my scroll, and there were butterflies in my stomach, and I could feel my heart pounding. The short path to the stage seemed to be never-ending. It was like a film in slow motion. Finally, I stretched out both my arms for my scroll. It was a great moment for me and for my parents after all the years spent in preparation for the event. Everything was over in a few seconds. After the ceremony, we headed for the studio to have some photographs taken by professionals. Then my parents treated me to a wonderful lunch in a cozy restaurant. Next, we have a great time enjoying this delicious barbecue meat and reminiscing funny, serious moments. We took more photographs. There would probably never be another occasion like this. So it was a memorable experience. I do not think I can ever forget any part of it. Okay. Now, after we went through or read through the passage, now we look at the 8 sentences given here. Alright, A. Then the long-awaited moment arrived. B. For sentimental reasons, I put them all in an album entitled My Graduation. And then C. Everyone would start searching for jobs after the graduation. D. I posed for countless photographs with my parents and friends. E. It was the end of carefree days and the beginning of another chapter in our lives. F. I can still recall every moment of the memorable experience. G. Later in the evening, I joined my friends for a graduation party at a friend's house. And lastly, H. My cousins came to my house to celebrate my graduation day. Right. So I think the answer is almost what we call close with each other, right? So you can look at the first question, first gap, right? So it was the day I could formally and officially be called an accountant. What do you think is the correct sentence for this? Gap number 27. Yes? A? No. B? Of course not. C? This is towards the end. All right, this one is during. Okay, this one maybe can be what we call at the end. All right, in evening, of course, it's not that suitable. And this one, of course, towards the end of the graduation. So, very direct answer. The answer is, I can still recall every moment of the memorable experience. Now, next one. Meanwhile, congratulatory cards and messages came pouring in. All right. So you can see here, all right, what really happened. Okay, even today. So this is the person who reminiscing what happened. So what did she do with the photos? Of course, she put them all in album entitled My Graduation. Okay, next one. I felt extra special in my gown, mortarboard, because of all the attention I was getting. Cameras click away. So this one is during or after. So you can look at the sentence given here. All right. So you can see what did she do when the camera clicks away. Of course, she posed for countless photographs with my parents, with her parents and her friends. Okay, and next one, beginning of the sentence, beginning of the paragraph, right? I walk up to the stage. So what really happened? Something that she already waited for a long time. Okay, so then the long-awaited moment arrived. Okay, I walk up to the stage, right, in a daze to receive my scroll. Okay, next one. 31. Okay, we had a great time enjoying delicious barbecue meat. Okay, before that, my parents treated me to a wonderful lunch in a cozy restaurant. As we mentioned before, right? As they're going to have lunch together after the graduation. So, and suddenly we have to hear great time and then barbecue. So who's doing it? Is it the cousins or her friends? So it can be my cousins, or here is later evening. Sorry, later in the evening. All right. So what do you think is appropriate answer? Okay, you can see here reminiscing funny and serious moments. So this is experience that she had with her friends. Okay. And lastly, all right, there would probably never another occasion, all right, like this. So what happened after their graduation day? All right, it was is it either E or C? Okay, so E and C are most what we call most the same, but the one which one is more outstanding one is, of course, it was the end to carefree days and a beginning of another chapter in our life. Okay, right. So that's complete all in this part 4. All right. If you feel that you want to double check, you read through whether it sounds correct, it sounds smoothly. You read smoothly. I think that's good enough. All right. So don't worry. All right. It's just do your best. All right. To look good and suitable answer. So to recap what is in part 4, okay, so the strategies, right? Make sure you read through the gap text quickly to get general idea. Then read the 8 option answers given. Read the sentence before and after each gap when selecting the answer and answer option. Fill the easier one and then try to do elimination process. Then read the passage again with the fill-in gaps to see if it makes sense. So we have all the strategies for part 4. Okay, right. So next, okay, all right. I'm going to give you time to read through part 5. Okay, right. Look at the question in part 5. Yeah. So read the advertisement below, taken from the food column in a local newspaper. Right. Complete the following tasks by using the information given. Right. A. Dragon Boat Restaurant. Okay. So the outlet is a favorite amongst tourists who love its famous crispy brinjal cooked with crushed spices. Other specialties are seafood dishes. So it's located at Old Clump Road, and its open hours at 11:30 a.m. all right, until 10:30 a.m. p.m. daily, right? Next one, B. Madam Yong Restaurant. This outlet boasts reasonably priced quality dishes. Homemade delights have rich gravy and intense flavors such as marmite, chicken, clay pot dishes. All right. Opening hours 10:30 a.m. until 11 p.m. So venue is at Damansara Utama. Close on the first and third Wednesday of the month. All right. Next one, Billy Grill and Bar. So served wholesome American favorite like sizzling fajitas, nachos, salads, and burgers. Affordable prices in a casual and cozy dining environment. So opening hours 11 a.m. until midnight daily. So situated at Bangsa Shopping Center. Next, D. Sizzling Plate Restaurant located along Shah Alam, Sungai Buloh. Alright, serving here are big, although the menu is not expensive. Yeah, sorry, expensive. Right. Favorites include chicken chop, barbecue chicken wings, sirloin steak. Vegetables are cooked in various variety styles. All right. Opening hours 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Okay. Venue is in Petaling. Next one, Duden Restaurant and Cafe. So this is special restaurant, authentic Vietnamese cuisine, prepared by chefs from Vietnam. So dishes are also served with Vietnamese drip coffee. So situated in Damansara Jaya, Petaling Jaya. Okay. And our opening hours is 11:30 a.m. until 10 p.m. So open on Monday, Wednesday, and until Sunday. And lastly, Sate Yanti. This outlet offers a variety of local Malay dishes. All right. Besides satay, other popular dishes include fried noodle, mee rebus, okay, mee soto, asam laksa, nasi lemak. And there is a buffet lunch daily from 12:30 p.m. until 3 p.m. situated in Subang Parade. So, as you can read through, the restaurant had their own signature dish. Yeah, this dish to be offered to anyone, all right, or everyone. Okay, now let us go through the questions. Question 33 until 36. Okay, based on the situation given, suggest the restaurant that each of them should go for their meals. All right. Next one. Lily loves eating Western food, especially steaks. So there are two consider restaurant almost what we call serving Western food. All right. So which one do you think really suitable for Lily, who love Western food, and then with prepared steak? Of course, the answer is Sizzling Plate Restaurant. Okay, next one. Marina intends to treat her colleagues to lunch. She likes to go to a place that serves a buffet lunch. Okay, So which restaurant that really serve buffet? Okay, what do you think? Very straightforward. It says here that serve buffet. Okay, here. All right. So it is Satay Yanti. All right. Next one. Tina's family members always prefer eating seafood to other types of cuisine. Okay. Dragon Boat restaurant. Okay. So you can see here. It shows that Dragon Boat serve seafood. Okay, mostly seafood dishes. All right, Dylan, Steve like trying out different type dishes from different countries, especially those prepared by native chefs. So as I mentioned before here, all right, prepared by chef from Vietnam. Okay, so the answer is Dudan Restaurant and Cafe. Okay, right. Next. Question 37 to 40. All right, choose no more than 3 words from the passage for each answer. For this practice, I know it's quite easy. It's okay. This is just starting. All right, for you to get used to the format. All right. Okay. So, what do you think is the answer for number 37? All right, you have to bear in your mind how many words can be written for each of the blanks. Yeah. All right. So Billy Grill Bar is located at. So very direct answer. All right. Where is it? Bangsa Shopping Center. Next, look for Madam Yong restaurant. It's closed on. Okay. So the first and third Wednesday of the month. Okay, next one. At Dudan Restaurant and Cafe, the dishes are also served with. Yes, I know. You can find the answer easily. That means very good. You can look for the correct answer. All right, where to find the answer? Okay, Vietnamese drip coffee. And next one, Satay Yanti. All right. What we call what do they serve? All right, during that time, 12 to 30 p.m. until 3 p.m. What do they offer? Of course, buffet lunch daily. Okay, right. So among all the 3 parts, part 5 is more. It's not that difficult. All right, to look for the answer, because it's you have to what we call really glance through and look for the clues, the cues, all right, for the answer. So it's not that too difficult. All right. So to recap what is in part 5, right? You have to have these strategies, right? Read all the text and information provided. Okay, read the rubrics questions. All right, look for the cues or clues of extra information provided. Write your answer as instructed in the rubrics. Okay, so as for answering, where to answer your question, you will be provided separate answer sheet. So you're going to write all the answers in the space provided. Okay, paper provided for you to answer all of them. Okay, make sure you copy the words correctly, spelled correctly, right, in order to get full marks, right? We don't know whether the marks will be deducted due to spelling mistakes. So please write correct words, correct phrases, all right, correct sentences, all right, if it asks for. Okay, right. So I think that's all for my presentation for part 3, 4, and 5. So I hope the presentation that I gave to all of you will be useful, all right, and you can use it in your when you answer your questions in your SPM. Okay, thank you. Good luck in your SPM. Take care.